Hey, what's up? I'm Kyle, and I'm going to be reviewing AI Publishing Academy by the Mikkelsen twins. Before I get into that review, I am going to tell you a little bit about what I do to make around $35,000 a month online. Obviously, I know you're here for the review of AI Publishing Academy, but I think it's important to explore all options before you settle on one side hustle to invest in. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that, and then we'll get into the review. So what I do is I rent websites out to small business owners for monthly recurring passive income. The way that works is, for example, I'll build a website for something like junk removal in Austin, Texas, and then I'll do what's called search engine optimization on that site to get it ranking on page 1 of Google so that whenever somebody searches for junk removal services in Austin, my website shows up. So once my website starts showing up, people are going to start calling the little tracking phone number I have on that front page. It's a little phone number that I pay $2 a month for that I can control wherever the calls forward to. Once though that phone number is getting some calls, I have something of value because a junk removal company is able to make some money off those calls. So if I were to give them to him, he's probably willing to give me a cut in order to take those calls. So I call junk removal company in Austin and I'm like, hey, I got this website. It's getting 50 calls a month with people looking for junk removal services. Do you think I could forward them to you for 7 days and you could see what it's like? Usually they're pretty down to take that trial because you're not making them sign anything. You're not taking any credit card information. You're just sending them more money. So they take the calls for 7 days. At the end of 7 days, I call them up and I'm like, hey, what do you think of the trial? If it went well, they likely made a few $100 to a few $1,000s off me, and they're not going to want to let those calls go. So I just pitch them a number like $750 or $1,000 a month flat. We have a little negotiation. And once we settle on a price and I take their credit card information, that's when this becomes completely passive. It's upfront work for long-term passive gain. I did the work of building the website, and now I have a piece of internet real estate that generates money for me while I sleep. Business owner pays me every month and doesn't cancel because they know if they cancel, 20 to 30% of their revenue is just going to vanish, because if they cancel, all I have to do is disconnect the phone number and call up the next junk removal company in town and connect it to them. If you want to learn a bit more about how this business model works, there is a link in my description. Check it out, read through the page. It explains it in way more detail. If it piques your interest, book a call. I'll answer any questions that you have about it. It's important to explore all other options. If this one piques your interest, probably the best business model I've ever found, but obviously I'm biased. So on to the review of AI Publishing Academy by the Mikkelsen twins.
Everyone's pushing AI side hustles right now, passive income, books written by AI, hands-off publishing businesses. It sounds incredible. And one of the biggest names in that space is AI Publishing Academy, run by the same team behind publishing.com. So the real question is simple. Is this actually a legit opportunity, or is it another expensive online business that sounds easier than it really is? AI Publishing Academy basically sells the idea of a business in a box. You pay about $2,000 to get access to their system, software, and training. The core strategy is using their proprietary AI tool to research book topics and generate outlines. You're not writing the books yourself. Instead, you hire ghostwriters, turn those manuscripts into ebooks, paperbacks, and audiobooks, then publish everything on Amazon and Audible. On paper, it looks clean, scalable, and beginner-friendly. But here's where people need to slow down, because the upfront price is not the real price. After you pay the initial fee, a lot of students report being pushed into a high-pressure sales call where they're encouraged to upgrade into something called the Accelerator program. That upgrade can cost close to $8,000, and it's often framed as exclusive or invite-only, which creates pressure to say yes on the spot. What most people don't realize is that this upgrade quietly changes everything. The company advertises a 365-day money-back guarantee, but buried in their own terms is a clause that says if you join the Accelerator, you're no longer eligible for that guarantee. Several complaints say customers weren't clearly told this until after the fact, which obviously becomes a huge problem if things don't work out. Then there are the ongoing costs. This isn't passive. You're paying ghostwriters, production costs, software tools, and Amazon ads month after month. Realistically, your first year could cost anywhere from $6,000 on the low end to well over $20,000 if you follow the program the way they recommend. On top of that, the company is currently under investigation by the FTC over alleged deceptive marketing and aggressive sales tactics. That alone doesn't mean guilt, but it is absolutely something you should take seriously before handing over your credit card. So what's the verdict? This isn't an outright scam. The training exists. The company is real, and some people do make it work, but it's also not passive income, it's not cheap, and it's definitely higher risk than the marketing suggests. The biggest issue seems to be a mismatch between the promise and the reality. It's sold as hands-off income, but in practice, it's a capital-intensive business that requires constant attention. Before you spend a dime, go read the BBB complaints yourself. Pull up the terms of service and read the refund section carefully. Yeah, if you still like the model after that, at least you're making the decision with your eyes open.